At the time of this video, I am now age 56 at the time of this video. And from 2017 to 2023, I was in a relationship with a narcissist. Now, before that time, I didn't know narcissistic people existed. And even when I heard, even when I heard somebody say somebody's a narcissist, I don't really know what that means because I just don't know what it means. Well, during these years, I had got into a relationship with one, and she was a very, very bad person. A very bad person is the least I could. It's been a few years, so I don't have feelings like that. It's almost like it's not almost like it is a blessing to have gone through such a horrible experience, if that makes sense. But if it wasn't for that experience, I would have never known those type of people existed. I just really never thought. And now, so now that I'm a few years out of that relationship, there's a few things that I've learned. Okay, so I've now understand that narcissists are everywhere. They can be anybody. They can be my relatives, people close to me, friends. They could be anybody. But with the blessing of now knowing narcissistic people exist, I know for through my own experience, they can't know narcissists. There's no way, in my view, my opinion, narcissists can't know that they're narcissists because in order to know you're a narcissist, that would take self-reflection and self like accountability, which narcissists never do. They never do that. No self accountability ever, right? At least the one I was with, she was. I don't see that ever happening, But today I was thinking about sometimes now I'm able to go back into that relationship, which I call the narcissistic fog, right? And I'm able to go back and look at myself during these particular times, right? And now I can see how an empath like myself, and awake, empath, I was asleep at that time, but an unconscious empath like myself can look so naive to a narcissist. When I look back, I just say, "Oh, that's why she thought I was so naive because the way I was loving her and I wasn't cheating on her or anything like that." To In the narcissistic fog, she's doing all that, and I'm not, and I'm just accepting it. I'm just in this fog. I have no idea why I'm even accepting it, right? But and it's getting worse and worse and worse. But I can see how when I look back at myself, how naive it looks because I'm unconscious to the fact that narcissistic people exist. I remember sometimes she would, sometimes we would like say like we're at home together, right? And she takes her clothes off and she maybe got, some underwear on. I would literally see fingerprints on her body, on her legs or something. They're clearly, now I'm deep in a narcissistic fog. It's weird to go back and look the way I'm telling you guys right now, right? I can clearly see that it's fingerprints. Okay. She would say something like, "Oh, I must have bumped into a table or something," but for some reason in my mind, I'm just accepting her answer, which clearly is not the answer. But I'm deep inside the narcissistic fog. So I imagine now I imagine her being the narcissist saying something like that to me, probably thinking in her mind, "Oh my God, this dude left marks on me. I told him stop doing that." Whatever's got to be running through her mind, right? At that time, right? She just blurts something out to me and I just accept the answer, knowing that that's not true. Like now I understand that this is the space, the vibration where I'm at right now. The truth always makes sense. Okay, it always makes sense. So there were so many times she would give me an answer to something and it would just not make sense. Lies never make sense. I'm just spitting game to you guys right now because I'm out of it. I escaped this narcissist, right? Well, lies never make sense. So I remember I would say, sometimes I would hear her answer to something that I asked her about, and the answer would never make any sense, right? And I would just accept it. So I can imagine how naive I must have looked to her, knowing that she just lied to me because lies never make sense. So now, if somebody tells me something today, right, and it doesn't make sense, and it counts on the context, the situation, but as soon as it doesn't make sense, that means there's a piece to this story that I haven't been told, or it's a lie, or something's going on, because the truth always makes sense. And I accepted her physical abuse. Um, and it gets worse and worse and worse until I had to ask God to get me out. And thank God got me out. And then now God's saying, okay, now what did I learn from this? What is the God was asking me since I asked him, he got me out. And now God asked me, what did I learn from this? This is the blessing from the narcissistic relationship. Okay. I now understand that narcissists are everywhere. They're everywhere. They can be anybody. Okay. They can be anyone. She was just one of them, but this is the blessing. I can see them now. What do you mean? What does that mean? When they do narcissistic things and believe here, let me give you an example. Say like you're with somebody and they cheat on you, and then the person you catch them and then they blame you for the reason them cheating. That's a narcissist right there, a narcissist. Now, this is the blessing, okay? This is the blessing. If I was to ever come across that, which highly I would never today, who I am today, because I can see him. If that ever happened to me, I would instantly leave that person. It doesn't matter why they think that's normal to do that. Like, this is how you got to think, because narcissists do things. This is the blessing. This is the gift. Since they don't know that they're narcissists, they don't know the things they do are not normal. So if you're in a relationship with one of them and they hit you and or they curse you out, this is say like this somebody's close to you, because it's many things that this is who I am now. I'm awake. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you guys what I'm awake from this blessing, right? And this gift of being able to see narcissists and me not know and them not knowing I can see them as a gift. So as soon as they do something that's not normal, say like they never like narcissists never take accountability for anything ever. If it's their fault, it's clearly their fault, and they still blame somebody. That's a narcissist right there. You don't need to know why. This is the blessing. I don't need to know why they don't take accountability. I don't need to know why they think it's okay to cheat on your partner and then blame your partner for cheating because they wasn't doing something for you sexually or something. That's none of my concern. I don't really care why they think like that. They're just been identified, and then I just remove them. And this is what this is what I now understand. Okay, everybody, every single human vibrates. Every one of us vibrates. Okay, our heart says that, but we all vibrate at different speeds. Being with a narcissist slowed my vibration way down because they're negative. Negative vibrations are slow. This is what I've learned from the experience with the narcissist. This is the gift that they can't see me. They don't know I can see them. They don't know that like people, you got to understand. Okay, narcissists lie. They're liars. That's all they do is lie. Okay. Okay. Now listen to me. I'm gonna say this slow, not because you're slow, but I just want you guys to understand this. Lies never make sense. Since narcissists do not know that they're narcissists, they don't know lies never make sense. So when they tell you an apology or try to, hey, I was across town, I really wasn't, this is why I didn't answer my phone, and it doesn't make sense, that means they're lying to you. That's what it means. It doesn't, you don't have to tell them, listen, you don't have to argue with them. If the story doesn't make sense, I don't say anything. I just leave, or they're removed from my life. I don't care why they don't understand, why their story doesn't make sense. I'm not there to make their story make sense. Every every negative thing from my life has been removed. I have nothing negative in my life, nothing. The narcissistic relationship was just part of my journey so I can know those type of people exist. And since they don't know, now listen, I really want you guys to understand this. They never take accountability for anything. So they can never, that's almost damn near 99% impossible for them to ever know that they're a narcissist, because that takes self accountability. And since they don't know that, they're going to be doing the things that they believe are normal: cheating, lying, never take accountability for anything. Oh, you're my brother, my sister, you're supposed to. No, nothing, none of that. None, no, nothing. I don't care if it's my mama. Narcissists were low, they were they were keeping the speed of my vibration really, really low, and I didn't know it until I removed them. Now it's a power that's unbelievable. I hope you guys are listening. Just listen to what I'm saying. Lie, lies never make sense. Narcissists are liars. So every time they tell a story and it doesn't make sense, they're lying. This is the power in it. I don't say, hey, that doesn't make sense. Well, you said you were here at 5:15. Then you're trying to fix their story. No, I'm not doing any of that. They're removed. You're slowing down my vibration. TikTok. Now I am fully aware. This is, I hope you guys are listening to this part though. I am fully aware my time here on earth is limited. That is not an illusion to me. That's not I don't think it's not possible. Whatever I was thinking when I was asleep, because I wasn't thinking about it. When you realize, now that I'm out of the narcissistic relationship, I realize, whoa, that's the time in my life that I'm never going to get back. Nope. And they just wasted it because they don't even care about their own. They are there to destroy empaths, period. She was placed in my life for, she could have either destroyed me if I wasn't on the side of God. I said, God, I don't know what I'm in. Can you get me out of this? Because I didn't know what I was in. I had no idea what I was in. Now that I'm out, now when I think about as a man, this is, if you're a woman, I hope you're listening and you've probably been through this. I remember as a man, you'll see a woman stay with a man that's beating on her. You'd be like, why is she staying with him? Da, da, da. As a man, you're just looking at it. You don't know why, but there's a psychological part to it all that I never knew. There's a psychological part to it all. God knew I was strong enough to get through a narcissistic relationship. I'll never look at any battered woman that doesn't leave her man right away. I'll be like, oh, yeah, no judging here. No, I'm not. There's a psychological piece. Today, trauma bonding is real. Today, a narcissist couldn't even get close to me. Do you understand? In any form. They could be in any form. Coworker, family, mama, daddy, sister, brother, son, daughter. It doesn't matter. I have a young adult sons. I've already had to cut one of them loose. Oh, you're headed down that road. See ya. My time here is limited. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You got to be strong to be here, to vibrate this high. You have to be. I'm telling you, this was not easy. But I thank God every day. Every day I go to sleep. Every night I go to sleep, I thank God. Every day I wake up, I thank God. I can see them, smell them, just the way they. All you gotta do is listen. Listen, narcissists do not know that they're narcissists. As soon as they start speaking, you will be able to tell if they're a narcissist because their stories won't make sense. They'll be bragging about stuff or something. They don't know that they talk like that. It doesn't matter if they're in a suit. It doesn't matter if they're rich. It doesn't matter if they're poor. Narcissists can be anybody. And it counts on the situation. I don't let them see, if I want the narcissist to see me, I'll make sure they see me. I don't have to say anything. I just the way I'll look at them. I can let a narcissist know that I see them by just looking at them. They don't like to make direct eye contact for too long. Listen closely. Awakened people make direct eye contact when speaking. Okay. If none of you guys don't know this, you think it's bullshit or whatever, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you believe it or not. But awakened people, when they speak to each other, they make direct eye contact and it's constant. Narcissists don't like to make direct contact. So if when I'm talking to them and I start looking at them in their eyes and they're looking around and I'm not looking away, I'm looking directly into their eyes, they get uncomfortable. I don't have to say anything. They'll just look at me and say, hey, how come this guy is not following the program or whatever? Yeah, I want you to know that. I'm not one of those people that don't know you people exist. The one on my journey, she was sent here to destroy me. You understand me? She was doing things in that relationship that made absolutely no sense. I had no idea why I was staying. It just didn't make any sense. I asked God to get me out. He snatched me right out of there. See ya. Snap of his fingers. Boom, out of there. Then God said, what did you learn? That's what I learned. There's the gift. 99% chance at all will a narcissist ever enter my life anywhere. Do you understand me? Anywhere. Personally. You remove all negative things, I have been removed from my life. Do you understand? God has blessed me with so many gifts because of the vibration the vibration speed in which I'm at. God said I have to be that. And the beautiful thing about this, a lot of people say, you hear people say, yeah, a whole bunch of people say they're awakened and all this other stuff. Here's the difference between me and those people who are awakened. I can prove it with mathematics. I can prove it. That's the difference. God has blessed me with the proof of mathematics. You can have in this world, everybody can have a perspective on anything and everything in this world except math. You can't have a perspective on 1 + 1 = 2. You can't have, nobody can have a perspective. It just is. You understand? That's the difference between me and another awakened person. Not saying that the other person is not awakened, but usually they can't show you something. They can't they can't let you see it or prove it with math. I can prove with math, but if you don't agree with it, that's just your problem. There's nothing else I could do about it. Hey, I don't believe, even though the math is showing you that, yeah, and you don't believe it yet. Okay, there's nothing else I can do from that. That's just one of the gifts that I have received from God just by just understanding that God is everything. Narcissist, my narcissistic relationship was part of my journey. Now that I'm at a certain vibrational speed, it's like I can just turn around and look at my entire life. And now I can see at every place where God was helping me throughout my life when I was really, really unawake. And I would call it luck. How did I get out of that? Whew, that was a close one. Do you know how many times I've said that? But now I can look back and say, oh, that was God. Anything bad, I was quick to say the devil real quick, right? But anything that good happened to me, I would call it luck. Why would I would it don't even make any sense to me when I think about it today. Don't even make any sense. I now understand that my body right here, I'm in control of my body. My body is my spacesuit here. I cannot listen, I cannot walk earth. I cannot do anything. I cannot enjoy walks in the sun and without this body, this body right here. I can't do any of that. This is the spacesuit. And now when I'm younger, I'm unconscious, totally forgetting about my spacesuit, just risking it out there, playing with it, just rolling my dice with my spacesuit. When I think about it today, it's like, I can't believe I did not think about it. Why was who knows? You know what? And this is, I want the men to listen to this. I know this is way off the narcissist, but well, it's part of the narcissist. No, this is part of the narcissist. One second. And for the men that are listening, I'm just here to share something with you, okay? I'm here to share something with you. I'm not here to try to convince you of anything. I'm just here to share, okay? When I escaped the narcissist, when God got me out of that situation, I barely had any energy in my body left. You understand me? That relationship physically drained me. I was underweight, no energy for nothing. So when I finally got pulled out of that situation, I only had enough energy to recover for myself. So you know what that means? No dating. I didn't go out, didn't try to meet another woman and all this other stuff. You know what else I didn't do? I didn't have sex at all. I stopped having sex. Didn't even take care of myself. Nothing. I stopped. You understand? This was forced upon me because of the narcissistic relationship, man. I want you to listen because if it was just up to me, this part would have never, ever, ever, ever happened. Okay. I was traumatized by the narcissistic relationship so bad I stopped everything. Guess what happened, man? Are you listening? I became unaddicted from sex. Unaddicted. 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 What does that mean? Unaddicted. If somebody would have said, "Hey, look, hey LJ, would you die if you stop having sex?" The answer is no. Of course, I'm not going to die if I stop having sex. That means if I could stop or start when I want to, but if I can't stop, that means I'm addicted. That's what addicted means. Once I became unaddicted, guess what, man? My eyes opened. And men and women, I hope you're listening too. There is clearly, listen, man, you close. When it comes to sex, there is clearly a difference when it comes to this between men and women. There's a clear difference. This is how I can tell. When you go to any city, damn near any city in the United States, and you go to the bad part of town where you see streetwalkers walking on there, those are women walking down the street. You see them everywhere. They're everywhere, almost any big city, right? If sex was the same between men and women, there would be an equal amount of men walking the streets to take care of the women, picking them up. Do you understand that? If it was equal, if sex was the same between both men and women, It would be an equal amount of men walking the street for the women looking for men to pick them up. But do you see that? Never. It's clearly a difference. I don't walk around as a man with that hungry look in my face like I got to get some. That doesn't happen anymore. It's not like that. Women can see it, they can feel it. It's not like that. It's not the first thing on my mind. It's actually the furthest thing on my mind. You got to be for even that kind of intimacy to happen. There's a long road to get there. That's not immediate. This is my spacesuit. I don't play with my spacesuits. I know I'm here. I know I'm here for a limited time. God needed me to understand the narcissists are everywhere and they seem like they're the majority. But now that I can see them and they can't see me, it doesn't bother me now. They don't scare me. They don't do anything. As long as I don't get emotionally tied with them, which I will never do, get tied up them with them in a business or something. Because say like you're an entrepreneur, right? And you got a good business idea and you're thinking about starting an idea, but you want to keep it in the family, pump your brakes first. Pump your brakes. You got to ask yourself, how is my relative, how are they running the business of themselves? How are they treating other people? How are they talking? How are they with money? Do they understand taxes? If your family member doesn't understand any of that, you better not do that. You better not do that because they'll tear your dream up. Narcissists, they will destroy anything. You understand me? Anything. So you tie them up in your business because they're a relative, they will destroy it because they don't care. They don't have that kind of say like you're trying to start a business. Well, that takes truth, honesty, not lying on taxes and all this other stuff. They're liars, so they can't do it. So they're going to be jealous of you. You bring them into your business, they come up, they get in there, start messing your business up. You be like, okay, you got to get on out. They'll be like, nope, I'm gonna destroy this whole house down because they know you're going to be successful without them because they know they are the ones. The narcissist I was with, we started a business together. She was slowing me down. I didn't know she was, not only was she slowing me down as far as business wise, she was slowing my vibration down. Now, when you guys hear me say vibration, you think, is that true? Is what he's saying true? Start removing the negative people. You'll see if it's true. Remove the negative people from your life. Cut them off. And don't explain to a narcissist because they don't care. Do not make them try to understand. Hey, I want you to understand why you're trying to treat me bad. If they're treating you bad, they don't need to be in your life. Nobody, listen, my vibration is high. Nobody needs to explain to me how to not treat a person bad. Okay, they don't have to explain to me not to do that. If I'm with a woman, I'm with her. Nobody has to explain to me to not cheat on her, not do things behind her back, and do. Nobody has to explain that to me. You understand that? So if you're with a grown up and you have to explain that to him. That's probably a narcissist. You don't want to be around those kind of people. On my journey here, I can see all the narcissists that were placed in my life that were trying to destroy me. Like when you break up with somebody, there's normal breakups. Hey, this didn't work out. Even if somebody got caught cheating, say like somebody did in a normal relationship, but somebody got caught cheating. The person gets caught, they feel bad. The person that gets cheated on, he or she can't handle it. They break up and they just go their way, split the stuff up and say, okay, this is yours, this is mine. And then you just leave. That's normal. But when you're with a narcissist, you catch them cheating, they want to destroy your life. This is how it always went for me. They wanted to destroy my life because I caught them. So they wanted to destroy me legally, just with other dudes. Just like, why can't we just break up? Because they were sent in my life to destroy me from reaching the vibration that I'm at today. If I would have if I would have succumbed to any of those narcissists in my life, I wouldn't be talking to you guys about this vibration level that I'm at today, because I couldn't, because they would have kept my vibration down there. It would have never reached where it's at today. There was no way I would have became unaddicted from sex on my own. I'm just telling you that right now. That would have never in a million years have ever happened. You know how freeing that is? I know for a guy, eh, you don't really understand, because there's very few men that would ever do what I'm telling you I've done. I this is how I look at sex today, okay? First of all, it is very important to know how a person's sex life started. You know how important that is? That's very important. It's very important. Very important. I know a lot of people don't think it. I guess it counts on the type of relationship. Let me bring it back. I guess it counts on the type of relationship you're looking for. I'm talking about the relationships. Let me clarify. One on one, no cheating, no lying, this and that, but none of that, no negative stuff in it. Just two people that want to get together. Okay. It's very important to understand how their sexual life started. It's very important, because everybody started differently. Because this whole world, let me tell you, like, this whole world is is actually an illusion. Okay. This is what makes it illusion. So you guys can kind of stay with me. The world is an illusion because everybody's perspective of it is different. Nobody's perspective of the world is the same. Okay. So somebody's sexual, when it comes to sex, everybody's perspective of that is going to be different. So you go in with one perspective, this other person probably has a totally different perspective of, yeah, you're doing the same thing because you're getting together, but there can be two different perspectives. That's very important to know. I mean, I don't even get that. Even me talking about it's going to take a long time for anybody to even reach there, because they have to be at a certain vibration to even be with me. Do you understand? Now, the average person probably hear me think I'm bragging, or who you think you are, and this. None of that matters to me. It doesn't. I don't care what anybody thinks. Uh, I can prove everything I'm saying. That's the beautiful thing about the gift that God has given me. I can prove with math what I'm saying. I can prove it. So when people ask, and I'm sure in the future now, it doesn't matter. I just say, hey, you want me to prove it to you? I'll prove it to you on the calculator. That's it. But becoming because it took the trauma. Listen, it took the trauma of a narcissistic relationship to get me unaddicted from sex. What does that mean? It doesn't control me like that. It doesn't. Nothing's like that. I don't care what it doesn't matter what a woman's wearing. If she's sexy, I'm not. Listen, I'm not blind, but it's not like that. It's not like that, and it's so freeing. It's real. It really is. It's freeing. And then now that I can see, and this is the truth. And this is just my opinion. Us as men, we think we are running things, right? This is an illusion that I believe is true, man. We think we're running things, but we're really not. Women are clearly in charge, running things. Clearly, we are the ones addicted to sex the way we are, not the opposite way around. You can look on the streets. You see women walk on the streets to take care of who? Men. We see massage parlors everywhere for men. You don't see tons of women going in and out of massage parlors, do you? No. So what does that tell you, Ben? What does that tell you? It's now that I can see it everywhere. It's like obvious. It's almost like me asking, I want to ask myself a rhetorical question. Has it always been this way? Yes. It's like, and now I'm not a woman, so I'm just guessing. It's like women have the choice. Like, maybe you. No. Mm. It's beautiful though. It is. It's beautiful. God has blessed me with many more gifts. When I say I have nothing negative in my life, I have nothing negative in my life. It was very difficult to reach here. Very difficult. I had to remove my mama. I had to remove my sister. I had to remove that narcissist. I had to remove friends. I had to remove all of them were slowing my vibration down. All of them. It's beautiful. Not many people do. Not many people, when they have narcissists in your family, not many people can do it because you think you have to accept it because they're family. That's because you don't know about vibration. You don't know that they're slowing you. Think about it. Say like it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, or somebody, right? And they're just a bad person. They're just bad people, right? And you know, this is what's the beautiful thing about the spiritual side. It's a heaviness that you feel when you're next to them. Because I can describe it with my mama. Like when I would go out to do something with her or something, it was just this heaviness of it feels like an obligation. Uh, okay, it's only going to be 2 hours. You know, if I'm thinking like that, that means there's something wrong in that equation. It was her. Once I removed her, it felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. Okay, cool. I don't have to worry about Christmases no more. Going over there when I don't want to. Her birthday coming up. Every time she called me, I have to go over. Now I don't have to worry about any of that. It's over. I was just like everybody else, thinking, "Oh, they're family. I have to do it. Oh, it's my mom, or it's my." No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. If they didn't do it, if they don't listen. If and this goes for anybody, but she wasn't my mom, my sister. They wasn't treating me right. They were using me, not giving back the energy that I was given. They had to be removed. I'm so happy that I did it. Sometimes I think back and I say, "Damn, I wish I would have did that sooner because I know my time here is limited on Earth." You have anybody in your life that's trying to destroy you for no odd reason? Like literally destroy instead of just saying, "Okay, let's just go our own ways and just go." They want to destroy you. Those are narcissists. You got to remove them. Not everybody's made at this speed at which I do you understand you can't have nothing negative in your life to vibrate at this speed. How am I telling you this? Because I have nothing negative in my life. I would not be able to tell you this if I did. I thought having negative things in my life was normal. Oh, everybody got problems. No, none of that is true. None of it. You don't have to have any. You don't. I know I don't. I love where I'm at. It's beautiful. God is everything. Do you guys understand? God is everything. The devil, whatever people call it, that's a delusion. He gave us all the gift of choice. If you knew God was everything, what would be the purpose of giving you choice? It's listen, everything becomes obvious once you're awake. So what would be if you knew God was everything, what would be the purpose of giving you a choice? You'd be like, nope. Hey, you want to go do something bad today? No, God's right here watching. That's what you would say. You wouldn't say if you knew that. So now here, create the delusion. People think, oh man, the devil's controlling the world. If the devil controlled the world, he would have kicked God out of heaven. Do you understand? Why don't you think when God in the Bible or whatever, whoever kicked God out of heaven, right? Why don't you think the devil said, no, God, you get out of heaven? You know why he didn't? Because that wasn't an option. Do you understand? God created the world. So you think the devil's gonna just take God's stuff? Why you can't think like that. Here we are walking around, humans, our hearts are beating. No one knows how it's happening. They just beat, and we just go through life. Just hey, anybody know how the heart keeps beating? No, no, but we're just gonna okay, all right, keep on going. All right. Oh, the cells create electrical pulses that cause the heart to whatever. Hey, listen, whatever. Okay, all right, human. Everything is obvious. My whole life is obvious. People in the narcissistic relationships right now, they hear me. They hear a person like me saying, my relationship was a blessing. Everything in it that happened was for a reason. That was the only to that was the only way for me. The only way for me to ever know that those type of people exist. Do you understand? I take the information, hopefully reach the people that have never experienced a narcissist to be able to identify them in a different way. So the easiest way, okay, first of all, they're liars. I want you, if you just jumped on, they're liars. Lies never make sense. Narcissists don't know they're narcissists, so they lie all the time. They don't know lies never make sense. So when they're telling their story or they're giving you an apology and it doesn't make sense, this is where you can go one of two ways, okay? This is where you have to be really in control. You have to be in the present moment to do this, okay? As soon as they tell you a story that doesn't make sense, you can make a choice. You can choose to try to make sense of it or ask them a few questions so it'll make sense, or you can just listen to it, accept that it doesn't make sense, and understand that this person is lying to you. That's why it doesn't make sense. Do you want to be around a liar? Like when you go to work, you think the people at your job are your friends. You don't know if they're a different person at work compared to home. You don't know. Most of those people are there because they're in debt. Do you understand? Debt causes low vibration. How do I know this? Because I have no debt. Debt slows down your vibration. It really does. Those people are not your friends. You don't know who they are. You really don't. Now I understand when I used to have a job, people used to go, "Yeah, don't start no relationships at work, this and that." Or, right now they do a lot of jokes about house husband or job wife, job husband. If it's a thing, I want you guys to understand. If it's a thing, if it's a saying, that means there are lots of people doing that. If it turns into a phrase and a joke, That means it's a lot of people doing it. They're at work so much, they think, and they're having an affair with the people at work, not realizing they're having an affair because they're at work so much. There's a reason why, because they're in debt. So they think they got something in common while the people at home or they're arguing with them. It's just a repetitive cycle that they don't know that they're in. You don't want to be in that. If you get out of debt and you have a job, get out of debt, you'll see, get out of debt. And if you have a job, you'll see everything change. You won't do that. You won't have no relationship with somebody at work and all that stuff because that's bad. You don't want to do that. You don't know why anybody's there. A job is a business. You're there to work, make your money, leave, don't make friends, none of that. Narcissists are very clever in their disguises. When you when you're not emotionally attached to a narcissist, you're not in them with into a tied up with them in a business or any kind of ties with them. They are the night. They seem like they're the nicest people. Someone is always the life of the party. They seem like they wouldn't hurt the fly and all this. It's usually that. Just keep an eye on people like that. Not saying it's always like that, but just keep an eye on people like that. Let me read some of these comments. What's up, Tina Marie? What's that? 9th, 13th? Okay. 9th, 13th. Says, once you can see them, all good to hear and hope all is well, healing, blessing to all of us who have been through it. Yep, for sure. Thank you. That's truth there. Okay, yes, definitely projecting is what they love to do. I'm not myself. I pray to get back. I don't look the same. Oh, okay, I saw that. Trauma bonding is real. I can see them before they approach it. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. I like that. I can see them too. People understand it's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to see narcissists because there's a lot of them. It's just like the Matrix movie, really. To me, I look at it like that. You know how Miss is it Mr. Smith that can go through everybody? Agent Smith, yeah, Agent Smith that can go through anybody, and he could just pick and choose what body he wanted to go into. That's what it really represents. A narcissist can be anybody. He can go into bodies of negativity, and there's so many of his choice. So that's what it seems like when I look at that movie. And I remember being in the theaters for the 1999 The Matrix movie. And I remember saying to myself, what if this is real? It is real. It is most definitely real. My ex almost accomplished. Yeah, almost got mine too. Sure did. She almost got me. God got me out. Drained and tired. Unaddicted for sure. Most of us have been through this. This is most of us that have been through this are alone, ain't thinking about sex or any, nope, sure ain't thinking about none of that. Any kind of relationship. I can't trust myself after that mess I was in. For sure. That, a lot of people don't even understand that. That wasn't even on my mind. The only way for me to get unaddicted, it had to be forced upon me. And God knew that part too. God knew what it was going to take to make me stop, especially as a man. Especially as a man. He knew that. Once you're out, become aware, you see things that have always been there, but now seen. And it's always like it's like a fog that is removed from in front of my eyes. It's like, oh, then you're like, oh, that was always there. Yeah, always there. And now I understand that it's unlimited because there are billions of perspectives of the world, basically unlimited perspectives of the world. So there are unlimited amount of things that that God is going to reveal to me over the time, the lifespan of my time here. It's unlimited. Energy transference is real. Being careful who you entertain and are around. That is key. A lot of us are well, I can speak for myself. I don't mind being alone. It really doesn't bother me at all. Like if that chick walks alone or drive, I go out to dinner alone. It doesn't bother me. And even saying the word alone is not even, it don't even sound like the right word to say. Because it's not like, because when people think of the word alone, they think, oh, he's alone. No, not that type of alone. It's not what you think, that most people think. It's a it's a good alone. It's an alone that, the next woman that is ever, she's already gonna have, she's gonna put it this way, she's gonna be vibrating at my speed, right? Already here. I won't have to explain anything because I'm not. And she will have her own alone. She will know what that means to be alone. Walk in the light and love and anything that doesn't align. Yep. It's beautiful here. And thank God for my narcissistic relationship because that was a major part of my awakening journey. I'm so thankful. Uh, I'm so thankful to be vibrating at such a speed that I wouldn't even know existed. There was nobody to ask. I just had to trust God. I heard God in my mind just saying, "You got to trust me," because my physical brain, like where I'm at today, compared to when I actually started, I actually quit my job in 2016. So it started before that, but no, it started earlier than that because I got out of debt first and then I quit my job. So let me preface that. I uh I got out of debt first, and that was around 2014, 15, somewhere. It took me a couple years. I started in 14, somewhere about a year and a half. It took me about a year and a half, almost 2 years. But that was serious getting out of debt. So that was the first step God told me to do, and that was a relief. And once I got out of debt, I felt this relief, like what that was is my vibration rising. I now know what it I now know what that feeling was that I felt when I paid off my last debt. This feeling of that means that was my vibration rising, but I didn't know. It just felt good though. It felt good, right? And so, and then that's when everything, that was the very, very beginning of my awakening journey, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know anything about vibration or nothing like that because I still had a lot of people and things and relationships I was having. It was still things in my life at that time that kept my vibration low. Kept my vibration low. People tell me I'm weird because I am always doing everything by myself. I choose my peace daily and I have an unbreakable faith. What's so crazy, Tina Marie? It's like this. I'm sure people probably think the same of me, but they know I don't care. Plus where I'm at though, I don't have anybody in my life that would even call me weird, if that makes sense. Do you understand? There's nobody in my life that would say, "Hey, LJ, you're weird." There's nobody in my life that would say that. Especially, because a lot of people are just not going to understand. They're just not going to understand. But that's okay. It really is okay. It doesn't even matter. I know God is everything. I know God is everything. I can prove it with math. I can even listen. I can even prove my vibrational speed. I can even do that. I can even prove my vibrational speed. God has been telling me just to be it, to be me, be what I am, be, don't care what anybody thinks. If anybody challenges it, show them with math. That's what God tells me. That's what he tells me. Okay, anybody that says something about it, prove it with math. And if they don't believe the math that I show them, that's on them. Okay, well, that's like, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. And somebody says, I don't believe it. Okay, see you later. All right, you have a good day. I'm not, that's like literally the definition of insanity. You show somebody math and the answer comes out and they don't believe it, and then you try to make them believe it, that's literally insanity. I don't do that. Just like with narcissists, when they show themselves to me with the things they do, because they always do things that you're not supposed to do in society, or do things to people, or do certain things to the people you say you love. It doesn't matter if they don't, this is how I look at it. It doesn't matter if they don't know that they're not supposed to do that. You don't know you're not supposed to talk to me like that. You don't know you're not supposed to put your hands on me. You don't know that you're not supposed to steal from me. I'm not doing any of that. Once they show me, I believe them. Yeah, that's a good thing. Don't take it personally. Never, ever. The craziest thing about this is you can't talk about it. Talking about, people look at you like you're mentally ill. Yep, they do. I'm so surprised at the amount of people who's been through this same situation. Well, a lot of people, you know, and I don't judge anybody, because it takes different levels of pain to wake people up. Like, now that I know what I've been through with a narcissist, right? I would never ever want to go through that again, ever. That was horrible, ever, right? If God would have told me, hey, in order for you to wake up, this is what you got to go through, I would have said no. Oh, no, thank you, God. I'll stay asleep. God's only going to me, God's only going to pair. Well, I can't say that, because there's a lot of people that don't wake up or get out of narcissism. I call it the narcissistic fog, where everything, where I stayed with a person that did everything I did not want in a relationship. She was doing everything I was against in a relationship, and I was staying with her. That's called the narcissistic fog, because it makes no sense. I didn't know that that is their world. Their world is dysfunction, no accountability, cheating, lying, disrespect, physical abuse. They think it's normal because of something that may have happened in their life. Who knows? It really doesn't matter. To me, to this day, I've never seen a narcissist take accountability for anything. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. They don't take accountability for anything. You got to remove them. And once you remove narcissists, which are highly negative people, and you remove them from your life, your vibration increases a lot. That heavy feeling that you feel when you're around them, sluggish, tired, it feels like more of an obligation to be with them, that kind of stuff. That's slowing your vibration way down. That's why you feel like that, because your vibration is being slowed down even more. Because think about it, before you actually go, say like you have, say like you go over this person's house once a week. Okay, when you're not there, your vibration is higher. It's slightly higher because you're not with them. But when you know the day is coming, notice your vibration going down and down and down, because you know you got to go and spend this time with them, because you know it's going to be way down there when you're with them. Once you remove them, your vibration goes up, and it stays up because they're removed. I'm only able to tell you this because that's what I've done. Once I remove the family members and you get through, oh my God, I'm gonna be alone and I'm not gonna have anybody around me to back me up or whatever. I realized I was always alone. The illusion was them believing that they were there for me because they're family. Obviously, they just listen. They showed me that they were not. They showed me this is not made up. I don't think they were bad people. I don't think they were mean. I don't think they would have did something. They did it. They showed me, so I removed them. You only got to show me once, especially for people that are really close to me. If you show me something like that, that's serious, that close, oh yeah, you're removed. My plan, this is what my plan is for, I call it the SMD perspective, okay? Because the world, everybody's everybody's perspective of the world is different. So my perspective of the world, the SMD perspective of the world, where there will be people, awakened people, with this like-minded perspective that we won't have to explain ourselves or somebody calling us weird or whatever. None of that will exist. That won't be around. It won't be there. It'll be a place that people can come and talk normal and be normal because it is normal. They are the ones that are asleep. Now, when we're looking like we're alone and this and that, it just looks like that to them. They don't know what it means. They're asleep. Of course, we look weird and naive to them because the majority are asleep. That's why it looks like that. But now that I'm awake, I don't care what I don't care what the people who are asleep think about me. I don't care what they think. They're asleep. Who cares what they think? Once you get to this vibration, one second. once once now that I've reached this vibration level, I don't care what people at that vibrational level think about me. Now, that's not saying that they're below me or I'm better than them. It has really nothing to do with them. I just know that they're asleep. So I don't really care what they think. They don't People that are asleep, they don't know that they're asleep. You see the you see the way I'm talking right now, those of you guys that know, you see the way I'm talking, hey, people are asleep and this they don't know what I'm saying when I say people are asleep because if they're asleep, they don't know who I'm talking about. They're asleep. If they even came on this video and they heard me talking about people who are asleep, they don't know what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about because they're asleep. To me, it's beautiful to watch. You understand? It's beautiful to watch, to what to see what asleep people do. I was once asleep. That was me. I once believed I could buy a house with a mortgage. I believe that. I once believed that I could buy a car with a car loan. I once believed that I go to college for 4 years, but keep my student loans for 15, 10 years. Those are things that people do who are asleep. When they say your dream home, if I believed I bought a house with a mortgage, that meant that I was dreaming. I didn't know I was dreaming. I didn't know if I had a mortgage, I can't save for retirement. I was asleep. You can't do any of that. That was a huge weight on my vibrational level, my vibrational speed. So walking around today, I understand, listen closely, I understand that they are asleep. I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully aware that they don't even know they are asleep. This is one of my many gifts that God has blessed me with, the gift of sight. To be able to see narcissists, to be able to see asleep people, the way they talk, and like here, let me give an example. Let me give an example. I know there are an unlimited amount of perspectives of the world. So what that means is this: there are when somebody sees me, there are an unlimited amount of perspectives of me, unlimited. But the only perspective of me that matters is mine. So when somebody says, "Hey, oh, you think you're all that? You think you do this and this and that?" No, you think that because I don't think that. I don't think I'm all that. I don't think I'm this and that and this and that. So if I hear a person saying that to me, the only thing I think in my mind, I don't say it, but this is what is said in my mind. Oh, that's their perspective of me. Okay, I'm listening. What do you think I am? Oh, okay. You think I'm this? Okay, you think I'm telling people, okay, okay. And I just listen because they don't know, asleep people don't know that they're sharing their perspective of me because they think by saying it, it's calling me bad or something, or it's whatever they're thinking in their brain, but what they're really doing is telling me what they think. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful to me. It's just like the Matrix movie. All the people walking around in the background, and we are just in the middle, walking down the middle of the walkway, and everybody just they don't know that's real, people. That's real. Think about here. Let me, because I like to give you guys examples. Think about the people that have financed Teslas that think they're saving money on gas, right? And they're bragging on the social media and this and that, and saying, "Hey, we're not. You guys are stupid for having gas cars." Financed electric cars don't save money on anything. If you don't have the money to buy the car, you don't. It doesn't matter what it takes to make the car go. It doesn't matter. But there are millions of people that believe they are. You understand? The only people that are saving money, not buying gas, are people who buy electric cars in cash. Those are the only people saving money, not buying gas. Asleep people don't know that. So as you hear me say, as you hear me show you a clear example of what I just said, it doesn't matter because they don't know what I'm saying because they don't know. They're asleep. So if a person, say like a person with a finance Tesla came across this video and heard me say that, they wouldn't believe me, even though I proved it with math. Now, the gift of sight, the only way I can have this kind of gift of sight is because I'm with God. That's who I choose to be with. I choose to be with God. Now, does that you now I don't want you guys to misunderstand. Does that mean I walk around with the Bible and I'm never cussing and not, no, you wouldn't know. Nobody would know that I'm walking with God unless they personally asked me. You wouldn't be able to see it, hear it. It doesn't matter. I still cuss. It's not like that. It's a superpower that everybody has, but you have to be vibrating at a certain level. So let me give you an example. All perspectives of my life and everybody's life, my life are running at the same time. You understand? all of my perspectives of my life. What allows me to shift between perspectives is my vibrational speed. My vibrational speed is based on my gift of choice that God gave us all, the gift of choice. So if I choose something negative, my vibrational speed slows down. Therefore, I'm put into a perspective of my life that runs at that vibrational speed. If I keep choosing negative choices, it's going to keep going lower, stay there, whatever negative. It definitely ain't moving up if I'm still choosing negative. But when I choose positive, my vibrational speed changes, therefore shifts perspectives. Each person or thing I remove, negative or person or debt or whatever, I removed it from my life. My vibrational speed went up. Therefore, my perspective of life changed. And there's really no up and down. Just think of the number line with zero in the middle, positive and green on one side, negative red on the other. Just think of that. And think of a line. Think as zero is God. Everything has to go through that, all right, to get to the positive side. So if you're coming from the negative, you got to go through God to get to all the positive, wonderful things that I'm here now in. You can't go around them. You can't go under them. You can't do any of that. You have to go through them. Don't and now if you hear it, you come across this video and you hear me saying something like that, just try it. You start with a small negative thing in your life that you've been wanting to remove. Maybe it's a debt or some kind of credit card bill that's your smallest one, right? But it's bugging you because it's bringing down. Just go save up the money and then pay it off. Feel your vibrational speed inside once you pay off that little small debt. It becomes addicting. I didn't know what I was getting addicted to, but I knew it was feeling good. I didn't know my vibrational speed was changing. I didn't know that. But I knew every time when I started with paying off debt and paying off the bills, it kept feeling better and better. Then I got to zero, and then I had to move internal things. I still had a lot of people in my life, a lot of internal things I had to take care of. But once I removed all that, removed every single thing, the highest vibrational speed. What did you say there? It's like a program of sorts, cause someone on the other side of the world go through exactly what I've been through. Same words spoken, same tactics, same. It's all the same. It really is. It's just when you're in it, you think it's just you. If you're in a narcissistic relationship, it feels like it's just you, but it's not just you. Narcissists are everywhere. What's up? What's up, Omanique? And the worst part to me is that we as receivers of this treatment go through a phase of internalizing our thoughts and pain. Now I talk about it and I am speaking my truth. Oh yeah, I mean, when I didn't know, you're right, Tina Maria. That's how I'm thinking, talking, wondering why this person's doing what she's doing. I'm like, hey, we love each other. Why are you doing, that kind of stuff. But then I realized I was just in a sleep empath. I was just asleep. That's why we look so naive to a narcissist. That's why they do the things they do to a sleep empath. Once we take ego and judgment out of the equation and just become the observer, words lose power that are spoken against. Yeah, people's words don't bother me. I think because soon, put it this way, soon I'm going to be taking this around the world, right? And God had to prepare me because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be trying to do that. They don't know I'm already being prepared now as we speak. Like right now, if there's like if a asleep person says there's whatever, they say asleep people say asleep things. That's the best way I can put it, right? They will say things that only people who are asleep say, but that is their only perspective. So they know nothing, they don't know how to speak any other way because that's the only perspective they know. So follow me here. They only know how to speak the things they have learned in their perspective of the world. So as soon as I hear those words come out of their perspective, I already know that they're asleep. So I have a choice. Do I engage? Do I just leave it and say, okay? A lot of times when I'm online and I see when I hear a sleep person respond to my comment, I just go, okay, there's nothing. I'm not going to argue with a sleep person. I'm not doing any of that. I do not, I do not and will not. I call them debt slaves, on the finance side, but just asleep people, I just do not argue with them because they're asleep. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate it. Thank you for the interaction, Tina Marie. See you later on Monique. And 9th, 13th. Thank you for joining. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. And you guys catch the video later because I know I'm not up to 1,000 users. So I guess it's only the people that are subscribed to the channel. If you catch this video later, subscribe please and share so I can get this 1,000 up so I can go live for everybody and not just the people that are subscribed. But people who subscribe, thank you too. Appreciate it. I know everybody can't catch the live at the same time. So, all right, you guys have a good one. Later.